So let me first start by opening up this with the right spiritual energy. All right. So let me start by saying peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. All right. So we've been in this university discussing I've been discussing to you about the draconian reptilians and shapeshifting, and I just want to make this quick video real quick to just show you all this example. All right, so understand that our oppressors lied to us about science, okay? So many of us never learned about science because our souls wouldn't accept the bullshit anyway. Our souls knew in school, in those programming centers, that they were lying to us, family. So many of us, we didn't pay attention. It was hard for us to sit still, so on and so on and so on. All right. But for those who did pay attention, and was miseducated, we were taught, or they were taught, a program to believe that, in science, the smallest particle is the atom. All right. They teach you that the atom is the smallest particle. Now, like I say, most of us never paid attention to no form of science in school. Let's just be honest. Most of us didn't pay attention in biology class, chemistry class, physics class. Like I was one of them. All right. Because they were lying to us anyway, family. All right. So, but for those who did pay attention and was miseducated, they taught in school that the smallest particle is a atom. All right. When in reality, this is a lie, family. All right. The smallest, and the reason that they teach you that the atom is the smallest particle is because they don't want you to know the truth. They don't want you to know about higher vibrational particles and elements that exist. All right. Because they don't want you to get in tune with your old ancient magical, powerful abilities that already lie deep within your DNA. This is a genetic fact. All right. So if you are considered a black or a Latino, you have carbon in your skin. You are a carbonated being. So this applies to you and you alone. All right. This also applies to the demigods. Okay. The demigods, I'll make a separate video about them. These are the ones spoken of in the Bible. These are the daughters and sons of the mating that went on between the gods, us, and the daughters of man, which is these human being women. All right. When they tell you the gods, the watchers, came down and saw the daughters of man and took them as wives and laid with them and had that's about us carbonated beings starting to have sex with these human beings after they landed on after they came to our planet. All right. So they came to our planet and, we assigned the morals to them and started to teach them how to walk upright and things of that nature. All right. And that's when, because we were traveling intergalactically. So, as we started to teach these human beings the righteous ways, and we was trying to turn them into gods, teach them the ways of the gods. All right. Because, they didn't know they had lost their way. They were created out of 4 different animals by our brother Satan. Zeus was his real name. But he was given different names. Satan, Prometheus, Marduk, Enki, Enlil, and on and on. All right. So, understand that our oppressors know all these things about our divine history. So they had to lie to us about science. Now, like I say, the most advanced scientist would be considered a physician. He's supposed to be this guy that's mastered the laws of physics or the science of physics. So but in physics, like I say, they teach you about the electrons, the neutrons, the protons, and they teach you about the atoms, right? And they teach you that the atom is very powerful. It's a very small particle and that everything breaks down in atoms. Your body is composed of nothing but trillions and quadrillions of atoms is what they teach you. All right. They also teach you that the atomic bomb was made from the atom, which is somewhat true. All right. They did splice the atom. All right. But understand that the atomic bomb was made from the carbon that's in the skin, the epidermis of the skin of the blacks and Latinos. They also use the black goo that sits at the base of the spine. There's literally a black goo. So if you are considered black or Latino, or you have carbon in your skin, there's literally black goo that sits at the base of your spine. All right. Once at the moment of what they call death, they go in these morgues and they drain the bodies of fluids. You know, they take the black goo, they drain the epidermis of the carbon. All right. I mean, they get more organ. They do more than that, right? They take the organs and eat them, drink them. All right. These draconian reptilians, these people who invaded our realm. All right. So understand that this is why they hide these type of things. All right. They will never tell you that the atomic bomb that they dropped on Hiroshima, they did splice some atoms, but it was mostly it was made out of the carbon and the black goo of blacks and Latino people. All right. Dead bodies that they had stole it from, or people that they kidnapped and killed to get it from. This is a fact, family. All right. So, moving right along, the reason why I spoke in depth about the atom is because before we can go to the light photon, you need to know about the atom. Now, they give you this whole backstory in the science community about the atom being this powerful thing. But in reality, you have a particle that's smaller than the atom and it's more powerful than the atom. Because see, in the molecular world, family, the smaller you get, normally the more powerful these particles are. And these particles have life, mind, body, and soul. They are literally alive. So I'm talking about, your protons, electrons, your neutrons, the atoms. They are literally living beings with life, mind, body, soul. That is an actual realm of existence, a reality, and they are alive. All right. And a lot of us don't know that because they don't teach you this in their programming centers, that everything within you is alive and everything on the planet is alive. All right. So there is life in every part of the galaxy, family. All right. So understand that you have a particle smaller than the atom that's called the neutrino. All right. And the neutrino is very, 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 very powerful. Now, when you're talking about science, like I say, the deepest they'll teach you on this earthly realm about science is physics. All right. And they'll give you just a little bit of quantum physics. But, they only give this to their best of their best scientists. But they will never teach you about metaphysics because that's deeper than quantum physics. And that's where we come from. Metaphysics. We are even beyond metaphysics. All right. But they will never speak about metaphysics to you. They will never talk about metaphysics to you. All right. And this is why. All right. Because now you're dealing with the neutrino. All right. And then you get to dealing with another particle smaller than the neutrino called the light photon. And that's the particle that they fear, that they do not want you gaining access about. All right. Everything that I'm telling you all, this is all government information, classified information. Some of it has been declassified, but majority of it is classified. All right. So they do not want you carbonated beings, black or Latino people, to wake up and learn the truth about who and what you really are and what they came and did to this planet and how they have enslaved you in this reality. All right. How they have hijacked your spirit and soul in this reality. All right. So they couldn't let that truth come out. But now all is being revealed. This is the end of that system. So everything is coming out so that the gods and goddesses, which are your black and Latino people, can rise again. All right. So this picture that we have up is a great example of the light photon. Now, we haven't did our PowerPoint lecture, but we have one coming up here shortly about these draconian reptilians, these Lyrans, the Nagas, the Nomos, all these different civilizations, the Voltecs, the Nerubians, the Orions, the Blue Avians. All right. All these different civilizations, that extraterrestrial advanced civilizations that it actually exist. All right. We have PowerPoints coming up on that. But understand, family, that these draconian reptilians are not more advanced than us, but they will appear to be advanced to you when we get to talking about shape shifting, because you do not understand metaphysics, which is a higher form of science. All right. Because metaphysics teaches you about the light photons, which actually exist. And these are powerful beings. And by separating the light photons, you can manipulate images. All right. And this picture right here is an example of light photons being used. And I'm going to break this picture down here in a second that we're looking at. But understand, family, that these light photons, all right, these light photons is what these draconian reptilians use. They manipulate the light photons. And by manipulating the light photon, they are able to bend light. Remember, the retinas that you see with only can see whatever the light reflects. Okay? So this is why your pineal gland has to be open, because your eyes, the two you look out of, are retinas, and they can only see what the light reflects. All right? But if a being is more advanced than you because they have more knowledge or more if they have more knowledge of self, or they understand the science of this realm better than you, then they can bend the light photons around you to appear to be completely something that they are not. And this is what the draconian reptilians do. They bend the light photons and they walk around amongst us, appearing, posing this on regular Caucasians and Asians and Mexicans and, regular human beings, right? 98% of the human beings you see, this means the Caucasians, Asians, the Mexicans, Dravidians, and Arabs that you see are clones, programs, or synthetic robots. All right, I got videos coming up, separate videos I'll make about these clones and these synthetic robots as well, to just, catch you up to date, make you aware of the time that we are actually living in, family. All right. So, by bending the light photons, you can manipulate imagery, you can manipulate the visual stimuli. All right. So, however, if your pineal gland is activated, no matter how much they bend the light photons, you will still see them, and they won't be able to. They can change their vibration. Very advanced beings can't raise their vibration, or they can't raise it, right, if they're not right within themselves, but they can decrease their vibration. All right, to try to hide themselves. All right, but some of them have mastered themselves to the point. This is what I mean by getting right within themselves. Some of these extraterrestrial beings have mastered themselves to the point where they can raise their vibration a little bit. But if your pineal gland is open and you are in tune, you will be aware of anything with a low vibration. So you will be aware of these low vibrational beings, these draconian reptilians, and these other beings around us. All right. So this picture right here was shared by one of the students in the university. His name is Still Chasing Gold. I'll be sure to leave his Facebook link in the description below. But he's one of the guys in this university, and he shared this picture on Facebook, and it inspired me to make this video to further, break down to you the light photons. Because for those who've been keeping up in the class the last few months, I have been talking about shapeshifting and light photons, and that this is what these draconian reptilians are using to walk around and pose as human beings. You have other extraterrestrial civilizations that are here that use that technology as well. All right. And if you become aware of this, you can also use this technology, all right? Because these light photons are also, by separating these light photons and manipulating them, this is also how you activate your Merkaba that's around you, all right? We all have Merkabas around us, which is a 6-point star. It's an electrical 6-point star around you, all right? And I'll make a separate video about the Merkabas as well, all right? But let's stay focused. So let's look at this picture right here that's been in front of us, right? So this picture right here that was shared by Still Chasing Gold, all right? It shows you, an old lady on the left and an old man on the right. All right, now, I'm going to sit here and let you look at the picture, and I'm going to give you like 20 seconds. And, I'm going to let you sit with yourself to let me see if you, can see both pictures. You see it clearly says observe for a minute. Then it says type wow when you see it. So, of course, you're watching this from YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. This wasn't recorded live, so, you can't respond live. But you can look at this picture and try to see if you see the other pictures in it. So I'm going to give you 20 seconds to do that. Now, most of us might have seen the other pictures, or you probably didn't. But let me break it down for you. So, all right, on the left, you see an old lady. You can see her white hair. You can see her wrinkled forehead at the top. To the right, you see an old man. You see his mustache, all right? Now, that's what most people would see. But in reality, it's two other pictures that you don't see. On the left, if you really look closer, you're going to see it's actually a woman sitting there holding her sombrero with like maybe a basket on top of her head or her hat. All right. And to the right, you'll see her husband sitting there with his mustache, and he's playing the guitar. All right. So most of us who've seen these pictures as kids growing up, we never asked like, okay, what are these? I mean, like, who created these pictures, and what's the true purpose of these type of pictures, and how are they even created? How can you put 3 to 4 or 5 pictures in one? All right, because if you tried to draw that, you probably wouldn't be able to draw that like that. All right. But this is done by them manipulating the light photons in the imagery, family. This is a small example of them manipulating the light photons, all right? So by them manipulating the light photons of this imagery, all right, although the true picture is the lady sitting with her husband who's playing his guitar, what do you initially see? You see an old lady and you see an old man. When in reality, that's not their true form. Their true form is hidden beneath, which is really the light. You get what I'm saying? So this is a small example of bending light photons, family. All right. This is a small example of bending light photons. All right. And this is what our oppressors do to us. This is how they reshape the imagery. All right. This is how they reshape the environment. And you also can do this. You can bend these light photons to intergalactic travel to other planets and realms, dimensions and universes. If you master it enough, you can also bend these light photons to blend in, all right, to make it appear like you're still when you're not. You're right. You could be in a room full of people and completely disappear. When in reality, you're still standing there, but you just bent the light photons to the point where it looked like you're not even there no more. It's called cloaking. This is real technology that we are capable of doing, family. But before you can activate this technology and this power, you have to learn the science. You have to get the insight first. All right. And everything that you do, all your powers start off from a meditative state. So you have to work on meditation first, because that will be the basis from which you activate all of your abilities that are locked deep within your genome, deep within your DNA, within the molecules within your body. All right. This is what I mean by biochemically, you break down to 666 if you are a carbonated being. All right. I keep telling the blacks, Latinos, the gods and goddesses that you do not have this. Your pigmentation is not melanin. You do have neuromelanin within your carbon, a small dose of it. And this small dose of neuromelanin is what Zeus used when he created these human beings. All right. Because he spliced them from 4 different animals: the pig, the lemur, the dog, and the snub-nosed monkey. All right. And a drop of our DNA. All right. So if you've been keeping up, I've been expressing this in the university. All right. So, however, he is not the supreme on the Supreme Council. That is a council that is a council of all female entities, because the female energy was first before the masculine energy. All right. The black woman / Latino woman is the supreme god. And then she created her gods. All right. Which is these males. So she's the supreme goddess. This is a fact. All right. This is why all throughout ancient culture, most of the time, the supreme deity was a feminine energy source. This is a fact. But this is why. All right. So understand that when Zeus was creating them, he don't have the ability to give them carbon. So he gave them a smaller form of carbon by separating the black and brown germ within the genes. All right. That's when he discovered there was 48 different shades of black by splicing these 2 genes within these chromosomes. All right. And when he spliced these 2 genes, Zeus, Yakub, Satan, he have many different names throughout history. He discovered that there's 48 different shades of black. And he destroyed those 16 shades of yellow, 16 shades of brown and black to get this, to make the genomic structure that you get today from the Caucasians and these human beings to make it recessive. All right. So understand that the human beings have lied, just like they told us we were all humans. No, we are not. We are Supermans, get our power from the sun, and we are the sun, right? And they are the human beings. All right. And we are their deities. All right. And then you have the demigods who have carbon in them as well. So the demigods are the human beings that mixed with the gods. So if you have white, half black, anytime anybody that has melanin that lacks carbon integrates or has a baby with a carbonated being, that baby will be a demigod. So all the mixed children will be demigods. All right. If you've mixed, you are a demigod. All right. So you are strong, but you are not as strong as the gods, which are the full 100% carbonated beings. And if you lack carbon, then that's okay too. That just makes you a human being. All right. But understand that when Zeus was creating them, he couldn't give them carbon, so he was only able to inject them with melanin. All right. This is why when human beings stand out in the sun, they can't take the atmosphere. It hurts them. They catch melanomas or it weakens them. All right. Now your demigods, these are your white people that are mixed with some type of carbonated DNA. Well, then it doesn't affect them the same way because they get power from the sun. They could take more of the sun because they are half God, half human. All right. So understand this is true, family. I don't want to make this video too long. All right. But I just want to, touch real quick on this was a great example of just a small example of how light photons work. All right. So you see how they manipulated this image by bending the light photons. And now you see 3-4 different images. And it's the same way in reality. Because this is reality right now when you're looking at this picture. So understand these divine facts, family. You are powerful beyond measure. We are gods and goddesses. The truth is being revealed so that you can take your power completely back. The planet is resetting. This university is one of the many mystery schools that will be being erected as we move into this new energy, family. All right? But I say that with all love and power and chaos to you. All right?